Guruji. Shukrana Guruji Maharaj for holding our hands and keeping us in your fold. जैसे कि अंकल ने कहा कि गुरुजी तो indescribable है and we are not worth it, we cannot say anything about him and we have no words to express. But yes, we are in deep gratitude to Guruji, we are in deep reverence to Guruji because he has held our hands. And as we all know, Guruji was the God incarnate. He was the embodiment of Lord Shiva. And we people are so very blessed that Guruji took hold of us in his physical form, you know, and it was so easy to approach him, to approach the God. How easy it was. And then Guruji showed us the path of righteousness. He cleansed our souls just sitting in his lotus feet, just sitting in his Sharan and listening to Guru Vani. I mean, this is amazing. So, Shukrana Guruji Maharaj, Shukrana Vasan Uncle and this multilingual Sevadar team. You people are indeed putting your best efforts in, you know, connecting the poor souls to Guruji, giving us the platform. And, you know, at times it happens as like when we sit down at the platform, then only we have the realization of the connection of Guruji and then enlightenment comes. So nobody knows at what moment Guruji is going to bless us on which platform. So I congratulate wholeheartedly to the team who is spending day and night for this cause. I appreciate Shukrana Vasan Uncle and the team members once again for your dedicated services. And today I feel fortunate enough for being chosen to do the seva of reading about Guruji. As Uncle said, like it cannot be Guruji's Jeevani because we cannot describe Guruji in words. So it's a little attempt. So Agya Maharaj, while reading it, in case I go wrong somewhere, please forgive me. Sangaji Bhutchuk Maafi. Shukrana Malik. Guruji, 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 it is God alone who is intimate with his saints and his saints alone who are intimate with him. Though lakhs know of Guruji or are in a relationship of devotion with him, we still know too little. In fact, not much at all about Guruji, the person. One cannot help but think that this is in accordance with his wishes. Spiritual biographies are not open to the merely curious, for spirituality is not the subject matter of curiosity. It is a highly engaged pursuit. Guruji's biographical details are scant, and what devotees know of him is a mere outline. That outline we have cannot be given full credence because as time passes, memories become untrustworthy and incidents become stories and stories become long. With these caveats, what we know follows. Guruji was the light divine born on 7th July 1954 in Dugri village of Maler Kotla Tehsil in the Punjab, a region sanctified by the Sikh Gurus of yore. If Jesus' birth was attended to by the Magi, Guruji's was by serpents. A key happenstance which gives the clue to his real identity. He was and is Lord Shiva, who is depicted and indeed has been seen by some devotees with snakes garlanded around his blue-throated neck and his wrists. Dugri was a farming village, and Guruji's early life likely followed its patterns. His father recalls that his young son would often help him till the fields. When he did so, the yield would turn out to be many times more than other fields. Guruji would often be found at the nearby dera of Sant Sevadas ji, often to the exasperation of his family who wanted him to study. Sometimes he would be locked inside a room to forestall such spiritual adventurism. Yet he would again be seen sitting with the sages at the dera. The sages who saw beyond the immediate would want people to leave Guruji alone, telling them that he was the Lord of all the three lokas. The import of these words, that Guruji was the sovereign Lord, was not heeded even when, decades later, the number of his disciples had grown manyfold. But divinity cannot remain hidden because its nature is to give succor. A childhood instance that has come down is of a schoolmate's fountain pen getting damaged before an examination. Guruji gave the boy his own pen, with which the classmate completed his papers while Guruji wrote the exam successfully with the broken pen. That may not have been very surprising for his classmates, who sighed that Guruji knew of all the questions that were to be set beforehand. His teachers, on the other hand, were perplexed by the student who would suddenly disappear from the classroom seat only to return momentarily. Guruji studied on to fulfill the wishes of his father, who, like any normal parent, wanted his son to get a good education. Guruji got 2 master's degrees in economics and political science. After some time, Guruji left home to fulfill his spiritual journey in this world. He would often appear in the house of one of his acquaintances, stay for a few days, and then move off for days at a stretch. His parents realized that their son was no ordinary person. His mother called him Guruji, just as his devotees did, and would often be seen touching his feet during satsangs. If a devotee would ever be so bold as to ask for his name, Guruji would give a short but meaning-filled reply, "Mahapurushs have no name," he would say, implying that the personality of such a one as him had already merged with the divine. There was no name because there was no identifier left. The personal and human had become the impersonal, immanent in a body. The purpose of that body then became to deliver humanity from its ills and sufferings. People thronged to Guruji for deliverance from problems, mostly material, of home and hearth and jobs and businesses, to disease that had latched onto them owing to karma. Soon the news of his powers spread all across Punjab and people sought him out. Never for the real thing, Guruji pointed out. He wanted people to come to him as the embodiment of the divine, for the sake of love and for love alone. That love given humbly, he could do a million impossible things. Guruji was a giver. He never expected or took anything from anyone. Guruji sat at various places including Jalandhar, Chandigarh, Panchkula and New Delhi, and a river of satsangs like the Holy Ganga began flowing amid these arid lands. It was here that people came from all over India and other parts of the world to seek his blessings. The tea and langar prasad served at Guruji's satsangs were endowed with his special divine blessings. His doors were open to the high and low, poor and rich, to the neighbor as well as the foreigner. One with the divine himself, he observed no distinctions and asked his devotees to bear none in mind. He wanted them to desist from mere outward ritual and superstitions born of fear. He asked them to love God and told them that all religions were one and came from the same source, that there was one God and one universal brotherhood of humanity. Therefore, it stood to reason there could be no distinctions of caste and creed. He had no truck with astrology and ill-informed shortcuts touted as remedies. Instead, he helped his devotees write out their karma, always taking the worst of it upon himself, sacrificing his own body in the process. To him and for his disciples, the Sangat, the votaries of his congregation, were supreme. In return, he merely wanted his devotees to become good human beings, to criticize no one, to help everybody, and to harm none. He exhorted them to turn to the divine and to sow good deeds and behaviors even as he navigated their life, their souls, over the tempestuous waters of their past karma. What mattered most was complete surrender and the unconditional faith reposed in him. Kalyan Karta, Guruji would say, and blessings always is what the devotee would get. He once explained that his blessings were not for this life alone, but extended to self-realization. Guruji never delivered any sermons. His was a process, as he often announced, of practical spirituality. His teachings came via the Shabads that enraptured the hearts of those who sat around him. So his message was received by the devotee in ways that were public as well as intimate, owing to the sacred connection between the Guru and disciple. This connection was the very root of the relationship. It lifted the devotee's life to a level where joy, fulfillment, and peace came easy. The Shabads became a beacon that always showed the disciple his true aim, and they also became a map that told him where he was. Guruji left his form, beloved of devotees, smelling always of roses, on 31st May 2007. It was, in a way, a lesson. He had told his devotees time after time of how evanescent life was. With the manner of his passing, he impressed the lesson on our psyche. In the sanctum of his mandir, devotees have lovingly built his samadhi, Bade Mandir, the sacred temple, set amid an enchanted garden, stands as a mark of his spiritual largesse. So beautiful that many can only exclaim that it is a heaven on earth, and so powerful that they need only pass by it for a blessing. The Guru and the disciple. Who is the Guru and who is the disciple? A beautiful allegory in an Upanishad illustrates the relationship. Two birds, friends of each other, are perched on a tree. One eats the fruit of the tree, but the other looks on without eating. The bird flits about on the tree, going from branch to branch, intrigued by the fruits, tempted by their smell, pecking everywhere. The fruits are both tart and sweet, and the bird experiences respectively aversion and avarice, but it remains intent on eating the fruit. The other bird stays where it is and watches the first bird. Its gaze is as intent, as all-consuming as is the first bird's appetite. The tree on which the birds are perched is the tree of existence, and the two birds stand for the gross individual and the subtle self. The individual identifies itself with the body and goes about entertaining itself. The subtle self, the lustrous watching bird, is merely the witness. It looks on as the other bird is assailed by frenetic activity and its results of pleasure and pain. When at last the individual is browbeaten by experience, when he has had enough, he looks up at the other bird, at his very own self. At this moment, the latent Guru and disciple relationship is made manifest. The Guru is the inner self of every disciple. He is the mirror in which the disciple can see and know himself. But before knowing or coming to the inner Guru, the disciple needs an external manifestation of his own self. Since we have for lifetimes been intent on gaining and grasping and doing, interiorization is difficult. So accustomed are we to living in the plane of an exterior world that we need an external entity to come and prod us to the inner reality. This is the grace of the Guru. The Guru and his grace are not different from each other. Grace is the characteristic of the Guru. So are all the other attributes of the self. Desirelessness, fearlessness, omniscience, omnipresence. In fact, the Guru is God who has come for you. He is your very own personal Isht, your beloved friend, the heart of your heart, the inner reality of your supreme self. Your Guru watches so intently, with such an exuberance of grace that you are bound to look up at him. This is the law of love. It may take lifetimes for you to look up, but look up to the crystal clear face of Guruji, you will. When the Guru presents to us as an external reality, it becomes easier for us to devote ourselves to him. We cannot offer our emotions to abstractions, no matter how luminous. In the form of a Guru, God himself comes to take care of us and take us out of the cycle of samsara. He wakes us up. He decides that we can form a relationship of devotion with him, using this relationship of obedience and discipline. We learn patience and compassion. We find trust and faith. Finally, we are able to surrender to the Guru and through him to existence itself. We begin seeing the hand of Guruji or God in our life events. Our experiences lose their sting. We break away from many things and many people. We reform relationships on the basis of the equivalence of human beings. We enter into a world where desire has no meaning, gratification has little hold, and where only the Guru's participation in our life gives it any meaning. Such complete loving is devotion. We trust the Guru, and with the minutiae of everyday life and the great crisis of life-churning events, we turn to him as our father and mother. We befriend him as the sole comforter. We fall passionately in love with him as the only lover. The great crucible of this relationship has only one purpose: self-realization. We go to our Guru with genuine problems and difficulties, and at times with wishes and whimsies. Guruji takes us out of all of them. It is easy for us to comprehend a Guru as a person. It is easy for us to offer our love to him, since the Guru wears a personality. It is easy for us to understand his words and his silences, because it is rather difficult to listen to and understand the languages and the silence of existence. Surely, but slowly, the Guru molds us. It is an enthralling journey. The Paramatma himself comes down as our Guru to lead the Jivatma to himself. The Guru-disciple relationship is of two people only insofar as these two personalities exist. When the disciple is in complete attunement with the Guru, there is no distinction between them. There is no difference between the water flowing in a river and the water kept in a vessel. Later, when the water kept in the vessel is thrown into the river, there is no hope of even making a distinction. However, lifetimes of fruit picking confine the bird to a little cage, make it a stranger to its own nature. It does not even know it has wings. It does not even think of the flight of freedom. It thinks that fruit eating is all there is to eat. There is to it. That it is born to eat fruit. By the Guru's grace, it sometimes looks at its serene friend, who is content not eating. Then it wonders. Then it comes to know it has wings. And through the grace of its friend, in whom it catches a glimpse of its true being, it contemplates flight. And one day, it does indeed fly away. Though the entire process can be allegorically represented in a few sentences, as with the two birds of the Upanishad, the process can take lifetimes. The wonderful thing is the amazing commitment of the Guru to rescue the disciple time after time from the many entanglements the disciple is sure to ensnare herself in. The Guru intervenes when the disciple gets herself into trouble. He comes to her rescue when the disciple is stuck inside karma's noose. The Guru sacrifices his own illimitable wealth of Shakti to save the disciple. The disciple is thus fully beholden to the Guru. It is the Guru who, as it were, hands back the disciple's soul to him. It is the ultimate gift, the fulfillment of the Guru's unconditional love. Yet the disciple is disobedient. The disciple finds reason to mutter and grumble at the Guru's shepherding. She or he is unable to understand why the Guru shapes her or his life in the way he does. To confound their already perplexed brains further, the Guru treats each disciple differently. That is, he looks upon all with the eye of same-mindedness. But when it comes to our training and instruction, our journey to self-realization, individual temperaments, and the different arcs of karma on which we travel have to be taken into account. Only the Guru knows what is apt for whom. The sweet that gives you energy is poison for a diabetic. It is great good fortune that leads us to a Guru. But then we resist the Guru by not following him. We place ourselves in an unenviable and ridiculous position. We are living in and enacting a circus. And when the master finally comes to relieve us, we want to stay back. We like our cages. We think our relationships are permanent. We agonize over them. We merely defer our liberation. But when our experience of the world shows us for what it truly is, when we grow distasteful and disillusioned, when the fruit of our experience ripens, then we lift our heads up from the hay and search. If we truly follow a Guru's path, we quickly learn that we have not come upon this earth to sate our thirst for sensual pleasures or satiate our ambition. The Guru shows us the futility of the world. It is unreal. We don't hanker for it. We find that its rewards and punishments are meaningless, that they are given to an individual that does not exist. We find that pleasure and pain and all the affairs of men flow with the ebb and tide of time. We find that our bodies go from birth to death and are nothing to cling on to. The Guru is the bird, that sings the song of freedom. He makes us realize that we have to commit to and consummate our journey in this very lifetime. We need to devote ourselves to Him readily and speedily. Devotion is our wings. Innocence is our unseen path. Humility is our strength. Love is our goal. The soul's aspiration to fulfill itself, which causes us to flit about in many engagements, is only realized when we fly to ultimate freedom. That liberation and realization can only be found when the disciple surrenders himself to Guruji's feet. Shukrana Guruji Maharaj. Koti Koti Shukrana Guruji Maharaj. Sangatji, this was amazing, amazing, amazing. Very beautifully, the example of these two birds are given. The two birds, one is the inner self, and the other bird is, who perches from here and there and savors the fruits of different tastes. Are we the human beings? We are caught in this Maya Jal, and we think the happiness is in this materialistic possessions. This is what I can understand. And the other bird, which is sitting on the other branch and, just watching, is our inner self, Sooner or later, when we are tired of all these worldly possessions, and then we desperately search for this, the true happiness, the true contentment, the true love, the true bond, then appears the Guru. And when the Guru appears, then we have the self-realization. Without the Guru's presence in our life, we don't even have this realization that this world is nothing but a dark well. We love being in it. And we do not know that we are caught in the darkness of ignorance, darkness of, the ignorance of the purpose of our being on this earth, darkness of the true love, darkness of the true surrender. We are engulfed and we are happy. But at the same time, when the moment comes when we are fed up, we start calling for help. Because when we feel that we have felt that darkness, we have enjoyed everything, or uske baad when the good Lord himself, when Guru himself listens to our prayers, he comes to catch hold of us, he offers his hand, and we also raise our hand to help us out. But at the same time, when the Guru asks for the conditions, the true love, the faith, the total surrender and all, and then again we get into the dilemma, like this is better, we won't be able to do that. To love Guruji is easy, but to live Guruji is quite tough. But Sangatji, what I feel is we are indeed very much blessed, Amazingly, at times when I sit down, I have the realization, just sitting in the aura of Guruji, we get to know about all this enlightenment things. The path of righteousness, we lead to the path of righteousness. Just sit down quietly and listen to the Shabd of Guruvani. Just that's it. Guruji had never, he had never given the pravachans, but his aura was so great. Whatever I was reading in the Jeevani written, at the same time I was having the goosebumps and I was having the realization, yes, so true it is. Such में practical hai. We understand, we we understand all this, and then the theory comes in front of us. और जब हम वो theory को पढ़ रहे हैं, then we have the realization कि हाँ, इन सब चीजों का तो मैंने एहसास किया है. So this is how, I mean, Shukrana Guruji Maharaj. Guruji is indescribable. You are indescribable. How can we describe you? Your glory is so great. We are in your Sharan, and this is our blessed fate. This is what I can say, Guruji. I only know that we are supported by you. Even if you are not in physical form, we are being guided by you at every breath. You are with us. You walk beside us, and we feel your presence. Shukrana, Guruji Maharaj. Shukrana. Guruji has given a new life to us, a different meaning to our life. So we are not worth to express our devotions, our love to Guruji, our reverence, our gratitude to Guruji. We cannot. I must say, it can't be even a drop in an ocean. If we want to express our heartfelt gratitude towards Guruji, if we devote every breath of ours in this lifetime, even that would not be that drop of, a small drop of water in that huge ocean. So to conclude,